Oh, we're doing something tonight we haven't done in a while. This is Great Fox 37.
Get your 23.
And we're going to do issue 11 of Nintendo Power, and it's looking great, the Super Mario 3 issue. So this differs from the strategy guide. This is basically just going to show Super Mario 3 and then, kind of go through its normal spiel of games and things of that nature. A lot of fun stuff to look ahead to, and at the end of the issue, we get to actually do our video game picks, basically, for the 1989 games of Best of the Year, so we're really looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. Now, I love the cover to this because it's got it's like the Super Mario 2, which is the first issue, had claymation on it, but it looked kind of dopey, and then you see this one, and it's like high quality claymation for this one. I thought that palm tree in the background was actually the spiral tower from World 5, but it's actually a palm tree because I looked up higher and I'm like, oh, it's almost like a Lego palm tree. Then you got Iggy there, you got like Iggy Koopa down there with his wand. You got the sun from World 2. You got the Chain Chomps. And then you got the Mountain of Gold and the little clock and everything. Just everything that a Super Mario fan needs. Now, obviously, this is the quintessential Mario game. This is what people basically think is like the greatest Mario game ever made. I consider it the second greatest Mario game ever made. So people will probably say, oh, you think Super Mario World is better? I think Super Mario World... You ruined it! You ruined everything! I've actually mentioned that probably before. Yeah, Mario RPG is my favorite. Mario 3 is second, and then Mario World is third. Now, as far as platformers go, yes, Mario 3 is my favorite platforming Mario for sure. And Mario World was great too because it allowed you to do some things in Mario 3 that you couldn't do thanks to the Super Nintendo engine. But it's just Mario 3 was very appealing. The only controversy I had with Mario 3, or the only criticism I have, is that I wish you could have revisited levels and things of that nature. But oh well. So let's crack this open. Okay.
My favorite Mario game that I've actually played was Sunshine. I spent hours and hours on Sunshine.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah. I mean, some of the little native people look really funny, but it was a really fun game, and some of the stuff was hilarious. It's like, so the villain is like using paint. I don't know why that's scary, but okay.
My memory of Super Mario Sunshine was when I was in college, when I was a sophomore in college, and the game had come out, and my buddy had a GameCube, so I'd go over and play that or Metroid Prime. Yep. And I remember his roommate was this pothead. He was actually putting in bulbs into his mashed potatoes and cooking it into his mashed potatoes in the microwave to let the oils basically seep into them. So he ate them. Probably about 30 to 45 minutes later, I want to say, he's watching us play Super Mario Sunshine. He's like, those colors, man. That's like a bright game. That's a real bright game. But I thought he was joking around. No, he was high off his rocker stereotypically. So that was pretty damn funny there.
My least favorite is called the Luigi's Mansion. It's so confusing.
Luigi's Mansion's fun. Probably my least favorite. Like, people are gonna hate on me for this. I didn't like Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I didn't really like that. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a big fan of Paper Mario. Like, everybody goes crazy over that, but Paper Mario just looked ridiculous. And then I wasn't a big fan of Mario is Missing. I mean, an educational game is one thing, but the way they programmed it and everything was pretty pathetic, basically.
Never even heard of that game.
Angry Video Game Nerd reviewed it once, basically. And he was like, oh, great, an educational game. But I played the Nintendo version. I never played the Super Nintendo version. But one of the questions that I thought was cool was, like, Notre Dame. And, like, my mom helped me with it. She's like, what does Notre Dame mean? It's like Our Lady, basically. And I was like, cool, okay. So I got that answer right. Like, Mom answered that when we were playing. And I was like, sweet.
That explains their song.
Yeah, and like Notre Dame, Our Mother, Tender, Strong, and True, the alumni song. Yeah, there you go, exactly. I'll have to sing that sometime, but I'll probably bore people to tears. I don't have the greatest singing voice. There's a few songs though that I can do fairly well. That even like Pikachu was like, "You're not that bad," because it's like the tone and pitch. Yeah. So yeah, but hey, I digress. So we open up and we've got hey, it's twice the power, and now it's every month. Introducing Nintendo's new Mega Power package. 6 better than ever issues of Nintendo Power. 12 big issues a year. You can't get with it without it. Oh, well, I guess we lost.
I'm confused. That doesn't make sense.
So they have like special edition strategy guides. So they were going to do the Player 4 strategy guide. That's coming up. I think it's issue 16, but I could be wrong. So there's going to be 4 strategy guide issues. One of them is like the 4-player game. One of them is like, I forget, it's like 4-player Madness game or something. One of them is Ninja Gaiden 2, which I own a physical copy of. Which, oh god, I can't wait to read those comics that they drew based off the cutscenes. The artist for that issue was amazing. I mean, it's probably, I'll be honest with you, the Ninja Gaiden 2 Strategy Guide issue probably had some of the best artwork Nintendo Power has done back in when it was just the NES and Super Nintendo and whatnot. It blew my mind just how good it was. And then there was Super Mario 3, and then there's like one more, I forgot what it is. So, Final Fantasy, that's it. Yeah, so there's a Final Fantasy strategy guide. So when we get to those, basically I'll kind of, like, we're probably going to blitz through those kind of quick, minus the Ninja Gaiden 2 one, but we'll kind of blitz through those because, 1, Final Fantasy is a fairly big game. 2, Super Mario 3, I'm doing my own strategy guide of it. So, we've got that, and then, like, I'm not really big on the 4-player thing, so I'll probably turn pages and do that. Like, that was kind of a lame issue for me, but, it is what it is. I give people what they want. We were going to review every issue. We'll do it. All right. Table of contents. So we're going to start off with Super Mario 3, and they've got a picture of the white coin ship already. Then we got Silent Service, which is a pretty cool submarine game. We got Pinbot, which is basically the future of pinball, as they say. We got 720 degrees. We got 720. Oh yeah, we got 720 degrees, which is a skateboard game. Boy and His Blob, which is a cult classic. Wrath of the Black Manta. We got to save those kids.
Oh yeah, from the interesting. It has cool music for that one that you showed.
Yeah. When he questioned, I'm like, "Where's your boss?" I don't know. Then we have Astyanax, which is an axe-wielding hero. Basically, I never played that game. They had some weird names with the Z's and the A's and the Z's. So then we're going to have the CES report. So that's the Consumer Electronics Show, which Howard would go to a lot. Got the Game Boy spotlight. Then we got Dragon Warrior. It's a text adventure, so this is cool. So basically, it's going to have it's a text adventure where you're going to basically be reading through with the text. They're kind of trying to emulate the text adventures of the 80s with it, so they're doing it Nintendo Power style, which is pretty cool.
Oh, like the last video we did.
Yeah. Then you got new games like Tecmo World Wrestling, Abadox. Like, I love how Tecmo finally got in on the wrestling game, because wrestling, when you're a kid, it's like, oh yeah, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, oh yeah, things like that.
I don't know the names, but even I enjoyed the wrestling game for the Wii.
Oh yeah.
I just thought it was funny because whenever you're playing, you have to usually like stand on like a tile surface or something so you don't fall over. It sounds like you're dancing.
Isn't it nice how I got a comment? Isn't it nice how talkative she is tonight? That's awesome. Then you got Abadox, Bases Loaded 2, and much, much more. Then we got at the end of the issue the Nintendo Power Awards for 1989, so we'll check that out. I think I was living in Tennessee at that time. Then we got Howard and Nestor. Yeah, I was, because I remember, that was sadly the first year that I witnessed Notre Dame lose in football. And when we flew from Memphis down to Miami, I remember that. That was a fun trip. We actually got to eat on the plane. It was my first plane trip, and it was just, good old times. And then when we were in Miami, had a blast going to like SeaWorld and stuff like that. So yeah, good times. And I still have my 1989 Notre Dame foam finger, so looking at it right now around the corner. Then we got Howard and Nestor, Counselor's Corner, Classified Information, Final Fantasy, take your first look into this vast world of adventure, Codename Viper, Super C. Yeah, so this is where it starts. This is where Final Fantasy is finally folded out.
What does Nestor do now?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Super C is the sequel to Contra, basically. Then you got some video shorts of Eight Eyes, Magic of Scheherazade, Heavy Barrel, Kings of the Beach, Magic Johnson's Fast Break, and many more. And then you got Players Pulse, Top 30, NES Archivers, NES Journal, back issues, and all that good stuff. So let's keep opening. I can't wait for the Crystalis issue. That's going to be cool. So looking forward to that. So, basically you've got the Players Pulse, so we're taking a look at some video spotlights and things of that nature. You got Andy Cunningham, who's a power player profile, 14 years old in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. He's got his Nintendo. He's got his little, that looks kind of like a Macintosh computer over there. And, he plays with his Dachshund a lot and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool.
How cute.
So let's see, anybody, we got somebody from Kingsport, Tennessee, that's in I believe that's in the Panhandle, just north of Johnson City, but I could be wrong. Then you got New Paris, Texas, oh yeah. They got a little reader's art there, so you got kind of like a little Zelda artwork there, so that's pretty cool. All right, look out, Mario's back and the fun's about to begin. Super Mario 3. So, yeah, there you go. We're, another thing we're going to review outside of Captain N was also The Wizard. We're going to watch that together and do that. So, yeah, the Nintendo's big, basically big commercial,
We should do the other one if we're doing The Wizard. What is it called? Pixels?
Oh, Pixel? Oh, okay.
We should do that one too.
I think we would get in severe trouble for that one. Because it's a more modern movie.
We'll just show it upside down.
Show it upside down. So, what was really great about this game was they basically, rather than going from level to level, you'd have a map that you could travel on, obviously, which is great. They're showing all the little icons they have on there on the right side, like the mushroom houses, white mushroom houses, Spade House, Hammer Brothers, the fortresses, things like that. Then they got the little items. I loved how they introduced the leaf, because then that brought a whole new dynamic to Mario.
Now you can fly!
Yep, not only could you basically go left to right, but Mario 2 basically made innovation on going up and down finally in Super Mario 2. Super Mario 3, it's let's take it to the next step, and rather than using vines consistently and also ladders to climb, let's fly.
But now Mario is too cute.
Well, the Tanuki suits when he becomes real cute. But I loved all the little items they had in there. They introduced the P-Wing, which gives you perpetual flight through through one level until you get hit. Then they have the cloud to skip over levels, the music box to put the Hammer Brothers to sleep on the map, the hammer to break boulders, the anchor to keep the airship from flying off, to where if you didn't want to fight in any levels, you would basically keep it grounded at the palace. The whistle was the way to warp to World 9. Which is the Warp Tube Island. Then you got the suits, which was cool. The frog suit would help you float under or swim underwater better. The Tanuki suit would basically, be flying, but you could turn into a statue. And then the Hammer Brothers suit, which was my favorite. I loved how you could have the Hammer Brothers shell on there, so you would toss hammers just at an angle and arc, just like the Hammer Brothers, but also, if you ducked, you could actually be the shell was impervious to fire. So, if a fire piranha plant spat at you or something, the fire would just absorb. Or those tricky little napper plants at the end of it in World 8 that would spit fire up. So they'd stick their mouths up and be fire a whole volley of fireballs at you. That would be absorbed by the shell too. So it's pretty cool. It was like a Buzzy Beetle shell because they're fireproof. So yeah. Just such a great, game. Just love the level design. It was great that you had grassland, desert land, iceland, things of that nature, pipe maze, stuff like that. So you could just visit things. They even had Big Island, where you would basically be in this this island where all the enemies were just huge, double Mario size and whatnot. See, there's the Kupahari Desert.
Wish.
Yeah. See, I loved how Nintendo Power would just put in-game maps and tips and tricks like this. I loved it when they did that for the Mega Man issues too. So it's just cool. So then they're showing the other maps, the Island Worlds, Land of the Giants, Cloud Castle, Winter Wonderland, Tube City, which is basically Pipe Maze. Then they had they introduced Bowser's children. You know, so they had really funny names.
That crazy dinosaur breeds. Oh,
and then you're kind of wondering like who the hell was the mother? You're right. So yeah,
it's Bowsette. Anyway.
Right, Bowsette is Bowser with the crown. Duh.
I know.
So okay, before we continue on, I mean, like I said, the Great Pyramid of Mushroom Machina, that's so cool. So before we continue, there was this. Probably like Bowsette took the country by storm like 2 years ago. So I remember 2 or 3 years ago, I don't remember which, but so I remember there was this one artwork that they had where Koopa Jr. or Bowser Jr. Koopa Jr. whatever the hell you want to call him was drawing a picture of Bowser spitting fire at Mario and toasting him, and he's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go show Daddy." Then he peeks into Bowser's bedroom and then peeks in, and then on the reflection of his eye, you're seeing Mario basically taking Bowsette from behind. And at that point, it's like I was laughing to tears at that because that was the funniest and most traumatizing picture that you could ever show. The marketing that they had with Bowser Jr. was great too, because like when they used him for the Wii to show like parental controls or like basically don't play for too long or play together. There was a funny video on YouTube that showed that Bowser was a good father because he was following like the Wii or like the Switch's parental control instructions, and I was like, okay. Like I remember with the inappropriate content, he was covering Bowser Jr.'s eyes and stuff. And he's like, it was just pretty funny. That was pretty adorable too. So yeah, so they give you a taste of Super Mario 3 there, so we'll see more of it obviously in the strategy guide issue there. So it's pretty cool to wet your whistle. If I recall, Super Mario 3 jumped all the way up to like number 7 in just a matter of like a month practically. So we'll find out when we get to the top 30, but I don't blame it. It's going to be like the number 1 game for quite a while. I can't wait to see the issue with Mega Man 3 because Crystalis is number 3 in that, and I think that's the highest ranking that game got. But it was really great to see that a cult classic like that actually held really high to a lot of players, dealers, and pros. So that was really cool there. So now we got Silent Service, the submarine simulation. So I got to tell you, for a Nintendo game, these are mostly things that you would find on like old Commodore computers or Amigas or whatnot. That artwork is really cool of them looking through the scope and everything, and on the sonar, and that sub is awesomely drawn too. This is a really good game considering that this was a Nintendo game, because it was a simulation basically, and a lot of times simulations can be very boring for people because you have like really strict rules with it, because it basically simulates it to be real, like you're in a real sub, you're in a real tank and plane, things like that.
Lots of flight simulators.
Exactly. Like that was the king of the early 90s for PCs. And when graphics started becoming better, oh, you better believe that they were basically coming after it and whatnot. It was just phenomenal there. I remember Falcon 4.0, the minimum requirements for it was like a Pentium 166 with like 32 megabytes of RAM, and that was just a huge laugh. I was just like laughing at that. It's like you'd be lucky if you even got the game to run on that. You needed like a Pentium 2 450 at the time to get that baby to actually look good. So yeah, but yeah, flight simulators were just awesome. Like Microsoft made a lot of them, and they were just really fun. Then they made truck simulators, which are great. Like they had like a Phoenix to Las Vegas truck route, which was really cool. So yeah, and I love doing that trip.
Animal ones.
Yep.
Those were very weird.
Then of course you got Sim City. Then you got like Railroad Tycoon, Roller Coaster Tycoon, things like that. Like
The Sims, which my sisters were so obsessed with.
Theme Hospital, which now is 2 Point Hospital, which is a modern rehash. I'll tell you, if you've never,
game is so funny. I think we should review it at some point. It's hilarious.
Yeah, we should. I'll tell you this. 2 Point Hospital is a great game. I haven't played it in a while, but I'll tell you, it really... Theme Hospital kind of started it. 2 Point Hospital just has you curing like ridiculous diseases and stuff like that. But it's great to just have things to where you can set up like vending machines, plants, janitors all over the place, doctors.
My plants.
Yeah. it's really fun. It's loads of fun, and it's really easy to budget and everything of that nature. There, it's just if you haven't gotten it, it's on Steam and it's great. What's so funny?
Maybe we should just do a video where we read off all the funny diseases.
Oh. So there's the war map of the War Patrol. So this game takes place in the Pacific, obviously there. So you're kind of seeing like parts of China there and whatnot, a little bit of Australia moving down. So it's kind of a weird little shape there. At first I thought that was Cuba, but I'm like, no, that's the Philippines and whatnot. Japan's further up there. So, yeah, you got a really cool sub there. The rest is up to you. You'll have to use all of your wit to be the world's greatest submarine captain. I.O. Silver.
Yellow submarine.
So they're talking about the Consumer Electronics Show report, so you can pause that if you want to read a majority of that. So they show basically like a lot of things like arcade translations, action, motorized madness, puzzles, puzzling pleasure, cartoons and comics, role-playing greats. So instead of calling it games, it's like greats. So like they're talking about, here we go. RPGs are playing an important role in many companies' future game plans. SNK, who of course made Fatal Fury and King of Fighters and whatnot.
Artist loves those.
Oh yeah. Unveiled Crystalis, a fast-paced RPG set in a post-Holocaust future. Tato's Dungeon Magic is the first NES RPG in which the action unfolds entirely in a first-person viewpoint, which was very ambitious for that time because that was you would see that consistently on a PC, basically, like Might and Magic, for example. Star Tropics and Final Fantasy are Nintendo's additions to the RPG field. Both are complex and long-playing with great storylines. The very first Final Fantasy on the Nintendo, before they re-released it on the PlayStation 1, was very difficult. You needed to make sure that you leveled properly in that and geared properly and had the right team, basically. And I tell you, it just was a very difficult game. Now, if you played on the PlayStation, there's ways to actually exploit that game to where you can level up quickly, where you can fight giants at lower levels, and then basically like get yourself up because there's a way where you can give yourself higher magic points than essentially like if you were to be playing where it's like every level gets you up to 9 magic points each of magic. So it's really complex. Then basically, but I mean, it started it all, and it's still a decent game. It's still a decent game. The plot's kind of like, it's like pretty much point A to point B, not a whole lot of room for exploration until you get the airship. Okay. But it's pretty point A to point B. Still a good one. I recommend playing it on the PlayStation 1 because it just looks a little better is all. Kind of like up to par to like Final Fantasy IV on the Super Nintendo, for example. Then you got super sequels like Gauntlet 2, Ninja Gaiden 2, Super C, hell yeah. Then you got some under development stuff, highlights, talking about Mario 3, and then they got some Game Boy stuff. So they're talking about like Wizards and Warriors X, The Fortress of Fear. Then you got some puzzle games, which are very common on the Game Boy there. So you look at all those puzzle games. Sports games that they were transitioning over, like I think Tecmo Bowl actually went over to the Game Boy. And then role-playing games like Gargoyle's Quest was pretty nifty. Then you got like the Great Heroes Saga. So then they mentioned the Great Heroes Saga Square is a Dragon Warrior style RPG. So what's funny is that it wasn't called Saga over here. It was called Final Fantasy Legend.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I'll tell you this. Final Fantasy Legend 2, which is Saga 2, is the best out of all three of them. If you haven't played it, don't play it on the Game Boy. I mean, the Game Boy version's fun, but play it on get a DS emulator and play the translated version. It's all done in 3D. The music's redone, and the music sounds fantastic. Oh, I played a bit of it for Pikachu, like the village theme.
That's the game with the monsters that are your companions. Or you can make the monsters turn your...
Yeah, you can transform a monster companion. Cool. You got a robot that you can gear up. You got humans, and then you got kind of like like these Esper mystics and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. There's the Pinbot, pretty cool designs there and stuff. So there's the future of pinball for you. There's 720 for skateboarding. It's at an isometric angle. Not really a big fan of skateboarding games. Skater Die 2 was a bit of a exception there, but you can pause and read over those if you want to. Boyd's Blob Cult Classic. Basically, you would feed jelly beans to a blob, and then it would turn into different things like ladders, bridges, coconuts,
it's like Kirby.
Yeah, exactly. So what it would do is it was kind of like it was a platforming game where you would get through to different places and you would feed the blob different things so you could get into different areas and whatnot. So I'll kind of go through this. So like now I want jelly beans. So like
we'll have to wait till we go see Boku again. He usually has
Boku's got some bitchin' jelly beans for sure. Well, actually, another thing is that they've got. Well, you know what? I get paid. So I get paid on Thursday. So basically, I'll probably order some off of Amazon maybe because like they've got spice drops on there. I tried trying to get spice drops at Walgreens. They didn't have them. I tried Target. They didn't have them. I went over to like QT. They don't have them.
Why do you not have?
Why do you not have? Yeah. But we're gonna have to get jelly beans and spice drops. So that's what I'm gonna do Friday when we go grocery shopping. So well, I can't get spice drops, but I can probably see if I can get jelly beans over at Target because I know they have those. But if they don't have the container I'm looking for, yeah. Anyway, well, I went. I wonder if the mall north of here has I wonder if the mall has like kind of like a lit candy store like in Vegas or something. I love going.
Usually do.
I loved it when we went. Like I love going there when we go to Vegas.
Oh yeah, that place is so.
Yeah, it's just great. Like I'll get like a whole bag. Like I'll get probably like 2 pounds of licorice jelly beans, and it's like I'm done.
Except
And then,
for the time when we got that clerk that was kind of rude.
oh, was it the one that was like sexist to me? Yeah. She was so anti-male. She just was happy with you, but she like overtalked me.
It was so stupid because you weren't doing anything.
I was being polite.
Yeah, you were.
I'm always polite.
Nice.
Like I know I talk a lot of shit online, but like I'm very polite in person and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the reality of it is, like one thing I'll just say before we continue is I talk a lot of shit. I get it. We both, all 4 of us talk a lot of shit basically. But the reality of it is that if you get to know us, we're very decent people. And things like that. We just talk a lot of shit because we have to vent in some ways. And hey, it's our opinions of how we do
is
people.
a very weird person, but not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way, exactly.
He's
like
just weird.
He just knows a lot of things that I don't know everything about. But he's a very knowledgeable guy when it comes to a lot of stuff in terms of history and everything.
He's basically our Deadpool, except like not fighting stuff.
Boku is still like innocent, naive in some cases, but Boku's a very intelligent guy, and he's got some wit to him again, which is good. I'm just glad that he's happy. I'm really glad he's happy. But anyway,
and he watches almost everything. So if you need to know about a movie or a show, he probably knows it.
Oh yeah, like we're the biggest James Bond fans you're ever gonna run into, basically for sure there. But I digress. So basically, the jelly beans that they have here, they got the strawberry jelly bean, which can turn into a bridge. Then you got the Leaderies, which is a ladder. You've got the what is that? Oli one, which is bubble. You got the coconut. You got apple, which is basically a jack. You got cinnamon, which is a blowtorch. Yeah, that makes sense. You got tangerine, which is a trampoline. Vanilla, which is an umbrella. Honey jelly bean, huh?
Interesting.
Honey, which is a hummingbird. Root beer, which is a rocket. I love root beer jelly beans. They're so damn good. Punch, which is a hole. What is that? Orange, which is top secret. And they got ketchup, which is ketchup. That's funny. It's like that, that Pulp Fiction joke. It's like squishes the baby tomato. It's like ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting game where you get to different places and you just have to feed jelly beans to get through different areas and whatnot.
Cinnamon totally makes sense for fire though.
Oh yeah.
You ever had the Red Hots candy?
Hot tamales.
Those too. They're really like spicy. So
I am so hooked on hot tamales. Like my favorite. So my favorite candies are hot tamales, licorice jelly beans. Juji fruits, and I already said hot tamales, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did good. I'm like, I must be losing my mind. And spice drops, like I could like eat those candies.
How can you not put chocolate on your top?
Well, no,
candies?
these are candies, not
No,
chocolate. Yeah, okay. Now we're gonna go for chocolate, like a candy bar or something of that nature. You know, these are like, I should have said hard and soft candy. Sorry, but and we're gonna go for candy bar. Butterfinger is probably my favorite because it's a combination of chocolate and peanut butter. Now, if we're gonna go for like, you know, Reese's peanut butter cups are like, I could like eat those. Like if you gave me like a mountain of those, I would eat those every day until I threw up, basically.
My favorite Reese's candy bar is those Kit Kat with the mint.
Yeah, so those are really good. Yeah, those are very good. Well, hey, guess what? Howard and Nestor time.
Yay!
So basically, they're playing volleyball. So this has got to be that Man of the Beach stuff or whatnot.
Whack, whack, whack.
So we see basically Howard serving and serving over to this big black guy and this big blonde white dude that are like beef, like great. So then it's like Nestor's like, I've got it, as the blonde guy is going to spike it on him, and it's like, timeout, awesome dig, dude. And then like Nestor's coughing up sand.
Nestor, why are you on the floor?
Our only chance is to outsmart them. In that case, you better leave it to me. Help, help! And then we see like the coach in the background's or the referee in the background's basically being thrown off of his bench. I figure the only way to win is to block their huge super spikes. So then we're seeing Nestor getting smacked in the face by a volleyball. The two beefy guys are laughing, and Nestor's got stars in his eyes, and Howard's kind of rolling his eyes and whatnot.
The only way to win is to do what they did in the Ghoul School movie. Put a remote control in it.
There you go.
Scooby eats it.
So then we see Howard dumps water on Nestor. Where am I? Who are you? What's the entrance to level 7? Maybe we should rethink our strategy. Sometimes it's best to play so close to the net, or not to play so close to the net. Who asked you, Mr. Volleyball Know-It-All? So he's coming out there, 4, 7, 5, 10, 12. So it shows Nestor falling over, missing digs, head in the sand, being dragged off while the two guys are giving a bro hug to each other. Howard's dragging them off. Where did I go wrong? Well, when I play the computer, I sling back a little bit, or I hang back a little bit, or stand back a little bit to block everything at the net. Now it must be must be something I ate. Yeah, it's loads of or pounds of sand. So they're getting into their vehicle to take off. So the reason why I'm struggling a little to read at some of that is I'm reading this from a distance, so don't mind me there. When you're almost 39, sometimes you kind of get to that point where it's like, ew. So yeah.
That was me when I was a kid.
It's not fuzzy. It's just sometimes you're just like, wait, what's that? Plus the way they wrote the text, it was ridiculous. You're like, I can read all this here. So now here's Wrath of the Black Manta, which actually has better artwork than the game does. Like I hate the way they drew the ninja, and he just looks so. He doesn't even look intimidating. Let's say that.
He looks like a dope.
You look like there you go. He looks like there's my trademark word. He looks like a dope.
It's like the ninja, but they put a slowpoke. So it's like.
I mean, you look at Ryu in Dragon Ball, or I mean, not Dragon Ball. You look at Ryu in Ninja Gaiden, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's a badass. You look at the Black Manta here, and it's like, oh okay, he looks pretty cool, but trust me, he's not that cool looking in the game. So it's a side scroller that has, it's not as good as Ninja Gaiden. It's just like a lot of like jumping. It's got some cool powers that you can use in it that you can learn and stuff like that. And then like children are basically missing in New York City, so you're trying to go after like this. You're trying to go after this boss that's basically kidnapping him, and then you battle like these just ridiculous bosses. You interrogate enemies along the way, but they're like useless. It's like, I don't know, and they have like just these really stupid faces. Like I mean the faces they look. It's like, oh yeah, that's a really great face. They look like a bunch of drunken reprobates, basically.
Yay.
But the level design's just simple. It's like an average game. It's not like a bad game, but it's just not that good. And you're tossing like ninja stars, and then you can like hold down and then like send out power. Like there's one where you can like spin underground, like dig underground. There's some where you can shoot fireballs, wind, stuff like that. So it's got some pretty cool powers to it, but it just really wasn't that inspiring of a game in my opinion. Astyanax, I never played this, but this kind of looks almost like a gladiator game and platform game in a sense. If you want to check it out, you can, but I never played it, so yeah. But I mean, I like the artwork though. I love the Medusa there, and then the blonde dude in the gladiator outfit. That's pretty cool. And then those cutscenes actually look pretty cool too. But this is probably not a really well-known game, regardless. So now we're going to the top 30. So number 1 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Number 2 is Mega Man 2. I can dig that.
Mega Turtles.
Oh yeah. Where the fuck you been? Dun, dun, dun. Number 3 is Super Mario 2. Number 4 is Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. Number 5 is Dragon Warrior. Now that's cool. I love how Dragon Warrior cracked the top 5 because Dragon Warrior is Dragon Quest. So there you go. Number 6 is The Legend of Zelda, which has been a hit for years now, and that's eventually going to climb its way back up. Number 7 is Super Mario Brothers 3. There it is. Yeah, there's the jump. So Super Mario 3 is going to become number 1 in like a matter of months, practically. And I don't blame them. It's just a phenomenal game. Number 8 is Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden made a huge jump. I mean, great choice there. Great game. Number 9 is DuckTales. Another fine game by Capcom there. Mm-hmm. Number 10 is Tecmo Bowl. I got to say, this is probably minus Ninja Turtles, this is probably one of the most solid top 10s I've seen. That we've been reading, because I would even like Tecmo Super Bowl when that comes out. That's gonna that just puts Tecmo Bowl under the water. Tecmo Super Bowl is probably like one of the best like Nintendo football games you're ever gonna find. Basically, there's way better ones out there. Like I love the NCAA series way better, but Tecmo Super Bowl for a Nintendo and Super Nintendo game. So much fun. Yeah, I know it's unrealistic, 100-yard passes and stuff like that, but they actually had the names of all the players that played in the early 90s, like Troy Aikman, Steve Young, Joe Montana. Just so awesome. Mm-hmm. So then you go to number 11, Bionic Commando. Number 12 is Tetris. Number 13 is Marble Madness. Fuck that game. Number 14 is Mega Man. Number 15 is Faxanadu. That's cool that Faxanadu made it in the top 15. I like that. Number 16 is Metroid. Number 17 is Strider. Number 18 is Blades of Steel. Number 19 is Contra. Contra's too low. Number 20 is Bad Dudes. Number 21 is The Guardian Legend. Number 22, California Games. Forget it. Number 23, Paperboy. Forget it. Number 24, Goal. Number 25, RoboCop. That game sucks. Number 26, Nobunga's Ambition. That was a pretty cool game.
Please do not put E.T. in here.
Oh, that's Atari. Number 27 is Batman. That's way too low. Number 28 is Baseball Stars. Number 29 is Jordan versus Bird 1-on-1. It was amazing. Number 30 is Wheel of Fortune. It's amazing. Like back in the 90s, they had these games that were just for two teams. They had like Bulls versus Blazers, Bulls versus Lakers, stuff like that. They were so obsessed with just putting these games in that would just have like these small little like 5 to 7 game series between them, and you would just sit there and just laughing basically. But it was all basically to promote, Jordan's first three-peat basically, and not to take away from him. I mean, the guy's a miracle worker. Obviously, he is still like the greatest basketball player of all time for sure. LeBron can suck my dick, but anyway. But speaking of which, LeBron basically was all saying that it was like too many white reviewers is why Space Jam New Legacy was so bad. It's like, it's all racism. It's like, why am I not surprised at this bullshit, Guy, it's like, he's the most unlikable person. That's not fair. Well, when you portray yourself as a douchebag, you're not going to be, liked and things of that nature. So at least, I know that I'm an asshole a lot, and, I'm not out for popularity, so I don't give a shit. So anyway, we get to the players' picks, pros' picks, and dealers' picks. So basically, Ninja Turtles is top for the players, Mega Man 2 is top for the pros, and Ninja Turtles tops for the dealers. So the players and dealers are pretty much idiots. That's all good. The dealers are especially idiots for number 2, Marble Madness. But then you got number 2, you got Super Mario 2, and then you got Zelda 2 for like the pros and players. I can roll with that. I mean, honestly, Zelda 2 gets a lot of flack. It's really not that bad of a game. I mean, it's a dark horse, and I enjoy it. To be frank, I think it's my third favorite Zelda game, actually, which is a shock, because people are like, what about Twilight Princess? What about Skyward Sword? Blah, blah, blah. Well, here's my first two favorites are my first two favorites are Link to the Past and then Ocarina of Time, and then Zelda 2, and then I like Link Between Worlds, basically, which is the sequel to Link to the Past. Link Between Worlds is essentially the same as Link to the Past, but it's got like different tricks to it. You can merge between worlds through like being a painting on the wall and stuff like that. So I thought that was a cool way to kind of, mix and match things, to where in the original it was like using a mirror and then portals around the world to hop back and forth, which was still, very cool. So here's a peek of some previews. We got a rainbow over some Easter flags and stuff like that. Oh yeah, because Easter's coming up. So I see a screenshot of Final Fantasy. Ooh, excuse me there. Pardon my hiccups. I just had dinner. Oh my God, that artwork is so cool. That is, I think that might be Yoshitaka Amano's artwork. He's the designer for Vampire 3D and Final Fantasy. It looks so much like Yoshitaka Amano's work. Oh man, that is sick. So basically, it's this huge muscle-bound dude dressed in black, and he's got this kind of like a helmet on that has these 4 spikes coming out of it, and his right fist is basically clenched, his left fist is lifting up sand, and then you've got some warriors before him and stuff, and he's got like this angry look. He kind of looks like he kind of almost looks like a combination of Cecil as a Dark Knight and kind of like. God, that Emperor, I forgot his name. Or what's his name from Final Fantasy V? Oh yeah, X-Death, yeah. So that is just such an awesome look there. I'm wondering if that's supposed to represent chaos, but I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like chaos. But anyway, you got some of the sprites there, like they're showing like the warrior, and then like basically when you can become a knight and everything, which is really a paladin. Then you got like the thief, and then the black mage and the white mage and everything like that. So it's just so cool that they're kind of previewing this and stuff. So this is like, and then it's cool that they show this background of the little city and everything. I think that's supposed to represent Corneria, which is the city, or Corneria, which is the city of dreams. And they actually mentioned that in Final Fantasy 14, which, by the way, I'm addicted to. So. So I'll get to that. So the summer of Final Fantasy is almost here. It's going to be the summer of Final Fantasy, the role-playing game from Nintendo that sets a new standard for adventure. Final Fantasy is not just bigger and better than earlier RPGs. It launches you in the universe more absorbing than The Legend of Zelda, more challenging than the Adventure of Link, and it's a blast to play. There's always a new goal to challenge your party of 4 light warriors, which are warriors of light, of course. Which you choose and command. Made up of fighters, these mages are of other adventures. The party must explore endless castles, caves, and towers, while forests, deserts, and ocean must be braved and crossed in spite of more than 200 types of enemies. Yeah, the map, what I loved about getting Final Fantasy, I actually had a boxed version of it for a while. It came with a huge strategy guide that would get you through like the first half of the game, and then it was kind of like the Dragon Warrior, give you like a mini strategy guide, but that got you through the whole game practically because it was a smaller game. But it would give you 2 maps, like it would give you a map of like the overworld, and then there would be like a bestiary, and there were so many. I mean, like, some of the monsters, of course, were repeats of themselves, which is something you do with old style games. But it was just so cool to see the bestiary and show like the hit points, magic points, weaknesses. There was even like an item and like weapon chart and things. I always loved Final Fantasy games for having those maps, for having those posters of that. Like I'd have them hang on my walls. I remember Final Fantasy Adventure, which is basically the one of the secret part is which is Adventure of Mana. It came with a mini pamphlet that had a partial strategy guide to it, and then it had a poster that showed the world map, and then showed like the item and weapon and armor list and everything. God, I love those days when they would have those cards. I miss them so much. Like, I remember the first, Call of Duty 4 when that came out. I'm looking at the poster right now. I had a poster of Price with his M4A1 SOT mod, and he's just kind of walking through like these war areas and stuff like that. It was just so cool when they would put mini posters like Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger put in 2 posters, one of the front cover, and then one of the party of Robo, Isla, and Chrono camping out, and then some monsters from 65 million BC were looking in on their campsite at them. And then, of course, like you've got like I'm looking over at it right now. I still have the original 1995 Super Nintendo posters of Chrono Trigger, and they had the jet bike from 2300 AD next to their campsite. So it was just so cool, just so cool to see all of this. Basically, just really cool to see all of this, and to have all that and everything. Lufia, I remember when that came out, they had like a strategy guide in the box and everything. So yeah, it's just really cool. They just now everything's digital and whatnot, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then we got Codename Viper, which is kind of similar to Rolling Thunder in a sense. So it's kind of a side scroller that has a kind of a Metal Gear look to it, but more of a side scroller sort of thing, kind of combo Bionic Commando and everything. It's not too bad of a game, especially if you're like a military nut like me. So it's pretty cool there. Then we go over the aliens are back with Super C. Defeat doesn't mean forever to mad from outer space mobs. So, basically, Super C obviously wasn't as good as the first Contra, but it was still cool to just be able to go through it. And those guys have like ridiculous shotgun. That guy on the right has a ridiculous kind of like shotgun. And on the left, that guy just has like a ridiculous looking machine gun. That's still pretty cool. Here's the poster of them, and they both have, like one of them's got an M16A1, the other has an M16A1 with an M203 grenade launcher attached, and they're 2 real models for it too, by the way, done artwork style, so I thought that was pretty cool. 2 bros just hanging out. So there's the map of Dragon Warrior right there. So that's basically the world of Dragon Warrior. So you basically see the castle of the Dragon Lord across there and everything. So it's just so cool. I don't want to spoil it and stuff, but this is basically the original world of Olive Guard. So if you guys are big fans of the Dragon Quest series, you know that this is the Dark World basically. So I'll just leave it at that. So basically, they're showing a little more from Super C there, so there's that. More to come in future issues. Oh yeah! Mm-hmm. Now you got the Dragon Warrior text adventure. Have you ever wondered? How decisions are made in role-playing games such as Dragon Warrior? In this text adventure, you'll see how your choices lead to particular resuits. And the same sort of process that's worked in the Nintendo computer chips if you're on your NES. What we call if-then statements. Yeah, so it's basically programming, yeah. This is also a good way to learn about the strategy of Dragon Warrior and have some fun. As the Descendric, I'm reading Erdrick already, as the descendant of Erdrick, which is basically Lodo in the Dragon Quest series, a great warrior of old, you were about to set out on the first leg of your quest to defeat the Dragon Lord, who has taken over the kingdom of Alfgard. You begin in Tangel Castle, which you'll stand at the gate, and you must decide what decision you want to make. So you go, if you do A, go to east. If you do B, south, and stuff. So this is it. So basically, what it does is this little text thing. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, so basically, they're doing a text version of it, but exactly much like on the computer. That's cool. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go east, south, west, or north, Pikachu?
What? Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Carbs.
Oh, gotcha. So this is the text adventure for Dragon Warrior. So do you want to go east, south, west, or north?
I'll go west.
Okay. So it says west, go to number 3. So before you lies a great lake. As you draw near, a ghost appears. Okay, so we'll go to 11. You're attacked before you see the monster. Oh, great. So do you want to fight or do you want to run?
I guess we'll run away.
Run away? Okay. Seeing a cave to the north, you proceed to the east, west, or north.
We'll go to the cave.
Okay. You're inside Erdrick's cave. With the torch lit, you discover a treasure chest Inside is a tablet that tells you of ancient deeds. It also tells you that you must find 3 special items to succeed in your quest. Where do you go from here? North, west, or east?
I'm gonna go east.
Okay. Let's see. Coming to the bridge, you see a magician. Do you fight, run, or spell?
No.
Okay. Unfortunately, you haven't mastered the spell yet, and you pass away in the bog, alas. Yeah, so that's pretty nifty. I like that. That is pretty nifty there. So that's pretty cool how they have that, where it's kind of like a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah.
Those are really fun. So now we're gonna you are dead. So now we're going to go to the Game Boy. So basically we got Nemesis, which is pretty much kind of like a Gradius-style game, basically, that you have. Then you got Malibu Beach Volleyball, World Bowling, which you see Homer Simpson actually playing in the 90s, ironically enough. Hayeko Alien, and then Boomer's Adventure in Asmic World. Oh, boy. Then you got Flip Pool, which is kind of like a similar game to Tetris using cubes. Cubillion, those are puzzle games. And then coming up, bases loaded for the Game Boy, Dalian Opus, which is another puzzle game. And then in the works, any mention of Metroid 2? No, but they're talking about the LGN is busy working on several games. Oh boy.
Not LGN.
So let's see, new games now available. So you got the Battle of Olympus, Xerxes, Rescue the Embassy Mission, hell yeah. Bases Loaded 2, Baseball Simulator 1000, Turbo Racing, Tecmo World Wrestling. So our new game section. So in the new game section, this is cute. So they got this family that's walking across the lake. They got the father fishing, got a campfire going in a tent. Over at a cave, there's a mama bear just sticking her head out, resting on her stomach. And there's 2 bear cubs playing the Nintendo. So that's pretty cute. I like that. So Tecmo World Wrestling, you're going to have, so let's see here. These kind of look, let's see, these people, so you got like Akira Dragon, Pat Gordon, Jackie Lee, Mark Rose, Randy Gomez, El Tiger, Rex Beat, Boris Chekhov, Julio Falcon, and then Dr. Guildo. So they got wrestlers all around the world. Okay, that's pretty cool there. Then you got Abadox, which is some very bizarre kind of Solar Jetman looking game from the look of it. I never played that. Bases Loaded 2, not a much of a baseball fan. Baseball Simulator, so it's pretty cool that they throw in more simulators and stuff for you there.
Baseball is boring.
Yeah. Al Unser Jr. Turbo Racing, so he's a famous Formula One racer. Then you got Battle of Olympus, which is a Zelda 2 style game that takes place in Greek mythology times. So not as good as Zelda 2, but it was still cool that they had followed that aesthetic there. Then you got Xerxes, which kind of looks bizarre. Never played that.
Sounds like Xerxes
From 300, yeah. But then they made fun of him in South Park, yeah. So Rescue the Embassy Mission, this was a really cool game where you could do like sniping, sneaking in, breaking into the embassy, stuff like that. It was just really cool to be able to, kind of work. It was kind of like based on the 1982 embassy siege in Iran where the SAS basically breached in and everything of that nature. So I thought that was, or the Iranian embassy, I'm sorry, in the UK, my apologies. So it was really cool to basically kind of see, really just kind of cool to see how it's like to be like a part of a special task force and everything. So it's like a foreign embassy has been seized by an unknown group of enemies. Prisoners have been taken. Threats have been made. A specifically trained task force is on its way to take the embassy back, and you are the leader of the team. Dark and detailed graphics highlight this new thriller from Kemco Sekai, and they're the same creators of Shadowgate, Deja Vu, and Uninvited. So that company, you'll remember that company for issues to come, because they would make a lot of these adventure, or like sponsor a lot of these adventure games and stuff. So now we're going to go to the Counselor's Corner. So we see Willow. How do you get the key in the upper levels of Knockmore Castle? Dragon Warrior, where's Erdrick's armor? So yeah, you got to go to the ruined town of Hoxness, unfortunately, and you have to take on an Axe Knight to get it. And the cool thing about Erdrick's armor is that I used to think it was Edric, but it's actually Erdrick. The cool thing about Erdrick's armor is that when you walk over poison swamps, it doesn't damage you, and then when you walk around, it actually heals you better than the magic armor does. So it's pretty cool. Disney's DuckTales, where's the skeleton key to the African mines? So you got to go back to Transylvania for that. I mean, I think, like, was it Dewey? I mean, like, Dewey fucking tells you, so it's a little tricky because there's, like, a special mirror you have to go through, so I get it. So, yeah. So, Game Counselor profiles. Look at those 90s, look at that 90s mullet there, and those 90s, that 90s beard there. And hey, we got a chick again, cool. So named Tom Davis, became a game counselor in March of '89. Hobbies include softball, four-wheeling, very cool, I love four-wheeling too, dancing and fishing. Greatest accomplishment, the Guardian Legend, 9,999,990 points. Favorite game, Nobunga's Ambition. A lot of the old-timers around that time really, really liked that. Named Rich Furman, became a game counselor in March of '89. Hobbies include reading, movies, computers. Greatest accomplishment, the Guardian Legend, 8,750,000. Favorite game, Dragon Warrior. That's cool. Named Denise Borosevics, her became a counselor February of '89. Her hobbies are Aerosmith, beach bumming, and hang gliding. That's cool. Greatest accomplishment, Mega Man, 9,996,300 points. The first Mega Man did have actually a point tally, and then they did away with that. Favorite game, The Guardian Legend. And then name Geir Lindstrom, became a counselor in April of 1989. Hobbies include bowling, computers, chess, and Seattle sports. That's cool. Greatest accomplishment, first GPC to complete Friday the 13th. That's cool. Favorite game, Genghis Khan. That's cool because, yeah, Friday the 13th is a rather tricky game. River City Ransom. How do I get into River City High School? So you got to beat up like all the bad guys and everything, or all the bosses. Shadowgate. How do I get through the Room of Flame? So you got to get that ice ball from the frozen lake, and then you drop it in there, and then boom.
Why?
Oh, they call it Crystal Ball and that. Well, I'm glad I remember that. So then it's like, how do you get the flute from the Fountain of Acid? Well, basically, you're going to get a gauntlet, and then you'll be able to take that. So what's funny is when we play Shadowgate, we're going to be going through like all the deaths and everything. So look forward to that. It's really creepy to hear or to read and stuff. But yeah. Oh, I wonder if it's raining.
Yes.
Yes, it is raining. I'll be darned. Legacy. If this video goes out short or anything, I apologize in advance. Legacy of the Wizard. How do you get the Mother's Crown? And then now we're going to classified info. Punch Out. The end is near. So basically, it's going to show you some tricks to basically get into play. Mike Tyson sooner and things of that nature. Bad Dudes enlist assistance. So they've got the Konami code there, and semi-Konami code. Mega Man 2 Slow Down Quick Man. So yeah. In Mega Man 2, if you take on Quick Man, typically the weapon you want to use against him, typically the weapon that you want to use against him is like the Crash Bomb, typically. But what you can do is you can actually use the Time Stopper, and then basically it'll drain half his health, and then afterwards you just take him out the other ways that you can. But what's really funny is that I learned that from Johnny Arcade back on Video Power, and I tried it out myself, and I was like, I'll be damned, you know? Oh, I miss those days of what I've seen those Nintendo shows that would pop up. Then you got Cobra Triangle, Highlight. Oh God, forget that game.
Wow.
Double Dragon 2, Early Stage Continue, Double Your Chances, Dino Riki.
Dogs.
And then Vegas Dream and everything. So there you go. They need special agents. So here's some previews for some things like Eight Eyes, which I never played. Magic of Shenheraze, which was a kind of like a wizard game. It was, I think it was part of the Faxanadu series, if I recall. It kind of plays like the Faxanadu series does. Then there's a Heavy Barrel, which you're pretty much pumping round after round with with a light machine gun. Kings of the Beach, which is beach volleyball. Magic Johnson's Fast Break, which is basketball. Target Renegade, Marvel's X-Men. First attempted as an X-Men game, and it pretty much sucked from LGN, so no surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Destination Earthstar, Top Players Tennis, Remote Control. Vegas Dream, Win, Lose, or Draw, which is a very popular TV show from the 80s and 90s. Top Gun 2, Dash Galaxy, and the Alien Asylum. Kind of reminds me of those Space Ace games. Rockin' Ball, another pinball game. Puss in Boots, which was the time traveling, which is basically the time traveling cat that actually makes an appearance in the second season of Captain N. Fisher Price, Perfect Fit. Fisher Price, I can remember. So they're memory games for children there. NES Achievers. Let's see. Bad Dudes. Adventures of Dinariki. Adventures of Lolo. Adventures of Bayou Billy. Casino Kid. Cobra Triangle. Dragon Warrior. Finish. Okay, yeah. DuckTales. Guardian Legend. Godzilla. Galaga. Gunsmoke. Hogan's Alleys, Hudson's Adventure Island, Highlight, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Kid Icarus, Kung Fu, Legacy of the Wizard, Legendary Wings, Life Force. Oh, man, that is a classic horror movie from the 80s. Space Girl. Marble Madness, Mario Brothers, Mega Man, Mighty Bomb Jack, Monster Party, Ninja Gaiden. Oh, somebody got 774,000 on Ninja Gaiden. He hasn't even lost a life, and he's going on his second way through. Platoon, Robo Warrior, Sky Shark, Skuon, Super Mario Land. That's Game Boy. Superman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Barf, Xenophobe, and Zaniac. So they're showing you how to capture your achievements. So there's basically how you do it again. They always have those different ways of taking pictures. So now we've got the world's second NES Power Trivia quiz, and they're asking some random questions there. What's Mario and Luigi's last name? It's Mario, of course. Mario, Luigi Mario. So. Yeah. All right, and then basically Nintendo World Championships updates. So they're coming to Dallas, Texas, Cleveland, Ohio, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Michigan, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Indianapolis, Indiana, Boston, Massachusetts, Uniondale, New York, Hartford, Connecticut. My mom was born there. Chicago, Illinois, and Kansas City, Missouri. Boy, they hate the West so far. But eventually, hopefully, they'll come out to Phoenix, but it'll probably be LA more than likely. Yeah. So there's some Game Boy accessories for you there. Some VHS that shows you some tips and tricks. Super NES videos. Deek Video has added tape episodes from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show to its Kids Classic Library. The tapes feature Mario and Luigi or Link and Zelda fun-packed action adventures. Hosted by the Super Mario Brothers and guest stars, each adventure runs approximately half an hour in full color. So yeah, all right. Mm-hmm. And then let's not forget Nintendo cereal and everything. And there's the fourth score proclamation. Which is, it was pretty much sugar and rehydrated cardboard. But anyway. Yeah. Right? Yeah, like Reptar cereal. Sarah Gilbert. So she's a celebrity profile. If you don't know who Sarah Gilbert is, she was the actress who played the daughter in Roseanne. This was when she was younger. She also plays that really smart aleck girl in Big Bang Theory. I forgot, but I think she slept with Leonard once, and she just has a lot of snotty things to say and stuff like that. I forgot her name, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I think so. Yeah, I don't remember either. But yeah, this is pretty much her profile and stuff. So she's talking about how how she likes the game and everything of that nature. Like she's a big fan of Super Mario and Zelda and whatnot, and she's just like. If you're near the end of the game, you can easily save the princess, and if you're big, just run through the dragon. She said, "Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much it there. Some people just kind of like the challenge because they want to keep their power, And then she basically played Boy and His Blob, and I guess she really liked it. So yeah, that was her when she was younger, before she grew up and everything. So there you go. Yep. Pack Watch Ninja Gaiden 2. Oh, yeah. Look at those cutscenes. Look at that action. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden 2 is my favorite gameplay-wise. I can't wait. The colorful, detailed, and dynamic cinema scenes of the original Ninja Gaiden set a standard for action game narration, and that has since been widely emulated. These cinema scenes made Ninja Gaiden play almost like a movie. While in the tradition of Hollywood's love for sequels, Tecmo announces Ninja Gaiden 2: The Dark Sword of Chaos, but Ninja Gaiden 2 is much more than a sequel. It's the opening scene of Ninja Gaiden 2. We're introduced to Ashtar, a shadowy figure plotting world domination. It has been a year since Ryu defeated Jacquio, and this has been new plans for the ninja of the Dragon Sword. Of course, Ryu is initially oblivious to Ashtar's schemes. His only worry is finding his friend Irene Liu. Only after several levels of combat will Ryu discover who Ashtar is and what he plots. The superb graphics of the cinema scenes, which tell the tale even better than those of the original, but not to be overlooked, is Ninja Gaiden 2's great gameplay. Ryu's mission will take him through some treacherous and challenging terrain, including an almost pitch-black night scene that is only sporadically illuminated by flashes of lightning, World 3 Level 1. And then this is one tough game. Although many film sequels don't live up to the original, this one game sequel that surpasses the original. 4 stars and 2 thumbs up for Ninja Gaiden 2. Yeah, I love the plot more of the first Ninja Gaiden, but the second one's gameplay is just outstandingly incredible. It's just incredible. Like, you could split yourself into two ghost parts that can also use their swords and toss ninja arts and stuff. You can finally climb like any wall imaginable, which is great. It gives a more feel of being a ninja in the game, which is cool. Hot news, Crystalis. Adventure through a post-Holocaust world full of dangerous mutated creatures and lost technology in Crystalis, a future adventure from SNK. Encounter and speak with the people who are attempting to rebuild civilization and discover the secret behind a century-old tower in the sky. The highlights of Crystalis include great play control. Your character is very nimble and quick. And like all of your good adventures, a wide variety of items to find and places to visit. A battery-backed memory saves your progress, and when you lose a life, you can continue with the experience points that you've acquired. So that was really cool there. So this is probably like my favorite RPG on the Nintendo. Like, I love it over Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Zelda, you name it. It's just such a hit. I mean, like, if you haven't played it, it's probably like one of the best Nintendo games ever made, hands down, basically. It's so much fun. It tells a great story, and it's just so much fun to play. And it's fairly short. Like, you can practically beat it in if you're quick, you could practically beat it in an hour and a half, practically. But if you're kind of a completionist, then you're kind of looking at 3 to 4 hours. But it's still just a really good game. Then Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, which Capcom took on, it's a pretty good little platformer there. So basically, that's the future there. Then Golgo 13, the Moffat Conspiracy. So that's basically anime at its finest there. Then there's Solist, which is basically part of the Wizard series. It's a 3D isometric game that has you follow the Wizard Shaddix basically. And then there's a sequel for the Super called Equinox, which is going to deal with the son of Shaddix, basically. So it's pretty interesting kind of, 3D isometric RPG style game. Puzzles, too. So Gossip Lore, Maniac Mansion. So that's basically one of the very first, next to Shadowgate, that's one of the very first point-and-click adventures that follows the Gabriel Knight Sins of the Father style. There's Battle Chess, Little League Baseball, Castlevania 3. Oh, God. Castlevania 3 is awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like Simon's quest to rid Transylvania of evil was not concluded, even with the vanishing of Dracula's curse in Castlevania 2. This is one of the advanced stages in development, but since it's sure to be a hit, the event Konami will get it out as soon as they can. We'll let you know more soon as we find out additional details. Castlevania 3 is actually a prequel to the first 2 games because it deals with Trevor Belmont basically. So that's going to be Simon's great grandfather basically there. Then Dungeon Magic. So Taito, who is also the creator of Lufia, also made Dungeon Magic there for you. So, all right, so there's some back issues for you. Anticipate these next features in the next issue: Final Fantasy, Dino Wars, Barai Fighter, and Super C. So let's see here. So we've got from Howard, dear readers, there have been so many great games coming out the last couple of months. We really couldn't give all of them the coverage they deserved, but we didn't want to leave any out. So you'll probably notice that this issue was especially packed with information. Yeah, it was a really good issue. And in case you didn't count, there were 17 games in the video shorts, 8 new pages of new games, 5 previews, and 3 reviews, not to mention the many games covered in Pack Watch. Talk about crazy. January CES was the biggest and most exciting one ever. More games, more accessories, and more fun. Our CES report only touched on what was in store. We'll fill you in more as the games come out. Thanks to all the cards and letters, everybody. Because of my busy schedule, I can't personally read or answer all of them, but your feedback does not let us here at Nintendo know what you want to see for your NES. Keep them coming. See you soon, Howard Phillips. So basically, that takes care of that. So the 1989 Nintendo Power Awards. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pick what we got here. So best graphics and sound. We got DuckTales, Guardian Legend, Mega Man 2, Ninja Gaiden, and Strider. Mega Man 2, I mean, the music was great, but like the level design wasn't ironically enough wasn't as good as Mega Man 1. I'm gonna have to go Ninja Gaiden. So are you? Okay. Best theme best theme and fun. Dragon Warrior, DuckTales, Mega Man 2, Ninja Gaiden, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ooh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with Dragon Quest. I love the theme of it, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
You too? Okay. Best challenge: Faxanadu, Mega Man 2, Ninja Gaiden, Stealth, ATF, and Tetris. That's a tie between Faxanadu and Ninja Gaiden right there. I'm gonna go with Ninja Gaiden because Faxanadu, if you know how to play it properly, you can basically get through a lot of it. But Ninja Gaiden was so fucking hard. Her uh-hus mean I'm gonna take it as a acceptance there.
Yep.
Best play control: DuckTales, Guardian Legend, Mega Man 2, Stealth, ATF, Tetris. I'm going to go with Mega Man 2. DuckTales has good control. I love the pogo stick functioning with it, but I'm going to go with Mega Man 2.
Yep.
Okay. Best character: Donatello, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, because he's got the best weapon. Godzilla, Leonardo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo, all 4 of them were there. Okay.
I like Mikey personally.
Mega Man from Mega Man 2, Link from Zelda 2 Adventure of Link, Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden, Uncle Fester from Fester's Quest, and then Uncle Scrooge from Disney's DuckTales. I'm going to go with Link.
I never really played the other ones, and Link is awesome, so let's go with that.
Okay. Best ending: DuckTales, Mega Man 2, Ninja Gaiden, Adventures of Lolo, Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link. Ninja Gaiden's got the best ending out of all of those. Zelda 2 was cool because you got to kiss the princess behind the curtain. Mega Man 2 was cool because you got to watch Mega Man walk through the seasons. DuckTales was okay because you got to see, Scrooge jumping in the air like, I got it, the gold and everything. I never played The Adventures of Lolo, so I don't know about that. But Ninja Gaiden out of all that has a full cinematic cutscene at the end, so hell yeah. Best player versus player: Baseball Stars, Hoops, Marble Madness, Super Dodgeball, Tecmo Bowl. It's a hard choice between Super Dodgeball and Tecmo Bowl. I love Super Dodgeball because it's made from the creators of River City Ransom, and you can do some insane stuff. But since I'm more of a football fan, I'm going with Tecmo Bowl.
I don't know. I didn't play any of them.
That's okay. Best overall: Dragon Quest, DuckTales, Faxanadu, Guardian Legend, Mega Man 2, Ninja Gaiden, Stealth, ATF, Tetris, Ninja Turtles, or Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link.
Oh.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ninja Turtles, I'm taking out. Tetris, I'm taking out. Stealth, ATF, I'm taking out. DuckTales, I'm going to take out. Guardian Legend, I'm taking out. So you got Ninja Gaiden, Mega Man 2, Xanadu, and Dragon Quest. Oh, it's tough. I can get rid of Mega Man 2 because I like Mega Man 3 better. I can take Dragon Quest out because I do like Dragon Quest 3 way better. So down to Ninja Gaiden or Xanadu. Oh man, that's tough. Because like a lot of people shit on Xanadu. Like Ninja. Okay, gameplay wise, I like Ninja Gaiden the best. Xanadu I love because the lore in it is so cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Xanadu. I know it's unorthodox, but it's really just such a great game in terms of like the lore, and I really love how they kind of did the side scrolling with it, and the weapon upgrades and everything, and an open way to a subsequel I'm playing called Xanadu Next, so it's pretty cool.
I loved watching the
You can beat video games, yeah.
Do the Xanadu, that was cool.
Which one did you want to go for?
That one.
Really? Oh, okay. And that's the issue there. So basically, we're all set and good to go on that. So next time we'll get to issue 12. So, we're making some progress with it. I can't wait till we get to the Mega Man 3 issue. That's one of my favorites, so I'm really looking forward to that. The Super Mario 3 strategy guide is cool. The Ninja Gaiden 2 strategy guide, I really can't wait for that. It is so awesome. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I breathed and swallowed something in there. But anyway,
did you inhale a bug?
That's what happened when I was working tonight. Oh man. Yeah, last week I had a really rough week of work, but this week's been actually good. I've got a lot more energy now, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. So we're all done. So we're all done with that. So basically, so I don't know. I guess did you want to rest or did you want to do Media and Excel?
No, I need to rest.
Okay, that's fine. So next time what we're going to do is we're going to record Media and Excel, and we decided we're either going to do the Assassin or the Necromancer. So it's probably going to be a flip of the coin, so we'll continue that. And that'll probably might happen sometime this week. We're doing a recording right now because Final Fantasy 14 was undergoing some maintenance. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we weren't able to get done with that, but Pikachu's going to go into her 16-hour lethargic rest.
I want to for 16 hours. I only look like a zombie for 7 or 8 now. Leave me alone.
So I had a lot of fun. It's great to be taking a trip down nostalgia lane again. We had a fun conversation about video stores last night, which was great, about how we rented, video games and stuff like that. So it was a really fun conversation. But yeah, next time we'll do a Media and Excel recording. I do definitely have to get back into my Super Mario 3 strategy guide. Definitely, because I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, that's pretty much it there for issue 11. So I hope you guys had fun. This is Great Fox 37, and you have a good night.